Kia ora, everybody. Welcome to the Unable Seaman podcast, the podcast designed to take a light-hearted look at all things boating and fishing in New Zealand. I'm your host, Jake Kerr, and joining me once again is my first mate, best mate, Christian Jensen. G'day, mate. How are you?
Oh, wonderful. We can let the listeners know we've just got off chewing off each other's ear for about 10 minutes on politics
Yep,
and solving the
infrastructure.
world's problems.
Yep, and then for the first time, I mucked up the intro. So this is actually the second intro. I normally just roll straight off, the dulcet tones, and I just
Yeah,
fire it
yeah.
straight away, and
And
I
I just fall
absolutely butchered it.
asleep to the silky smooth voice of Jacob Kerr.
Yeah, well, that's certainly what the listeners do. That's why they tune in. A lot of our listeners are actually here for that ASMR. The sounds of like a chip packet opening. You know how people actually watch videos, of just those sorts of sounds.
Oh, yeah.
And it's some sort of like I think it's sort of some sort of like fetish. Um, so if
Oh,
you are
definitely.
listening, for that, welcome. We welcome all comers to the show,
All
so to
comers, all
speak.
newcomers, all
We welcome
listeners.
all comers. So.
Jesus.
I mean, I apologize in advance for all the boat chat, but
You
maybe
apologize
maybe
for the.
yeah. But how are you, bro? Have you been anywhere near the water since we last spoke?
Oh, yeah, yeah. It's been raining every day for like the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, you've been near the puddles.
I've been near them, bro. It's been freaking wet. It was awesome to see. I saw your video the other day. Oh no, it was a photo, and it was like mint up where you are. You're out fishing. I think it was Becky that sent me the photo, and I looked outside, and it was blowing like 40 knots with
Yeah.
like sideways rain smashing our windows. And I thought, it's not the same weather here.
No, well, it is the winterless north, and I mean, you already know how that story ended. Let's just say the Tangaroa got one back on me on that trip. So
You got one, and then it got one back.
it got one back. So anyone who follows us on our Instagram at Unable Seaman will already know this. I went out for a fish on the weekend, dragged the boat out. Finally, the weather came good. Went out literally third cast on a soft bait. Just
Yeah,
went to the
big
middle.
one too, bro. You had a big
Good
sluggo or
snap on
something.
my new rod too. My new setup that I've got. So cast it out, got bang, and it just got that feeling that I haven't had in a long time. Pulling a bit of string, and it was
I
all
think it's pulling a
exciting.
bit of something. Haven't had this
Yeah, I was
feeling for a
pulling
while.
something, all right. And anyway, got it on board, and oh, you beauty.
It's good
And I thought,
size.
shit, we'll go to drift round then, drift back round again onto that spot, and turn the key, nothing. And there was just this little plume of smoke and a sort of plasticky smell, and that was it. That was it. We were drift fishing, whether
Should
we
have
wanted
anchored
to
and
or not.
burlied up, bro.
Well, that was actually the plan to go and chuck some burley out too, but I'm embarrassed to admit.
Jeepers, jeepers, mate.
But
So, I got this message saying, "Oh yeah, mate, didn't have to use your Coast Guard membership again." And I did actually think, "Fuck, lucky for you, I have renewed it."
and I've actually got one too, and I should endorse that anyone should have a Coast Guard membership because you are only a key turn away from needing it. I
And
was very
you could have all the battery in the world, you could have all the fuel in the world, and then you could say, "What was yours? Like a cable or something, or a starter motor?"
yeah, we think it's a starter motor issue. So that the cable leading to the starter motor was definitely seen better days. So that will get replaced. And the starter motor's been pulled out too. We'll probably replace that while we're there. So just want to shout out to Jono, who is one of our listeners. He's also a he was a marine mechanic, worked at Sea Legs, is now working at Machina Boats of all places.
Oh, good man.
So he popped round and gave me a bit of a hand. So I know he's a listener. So thank you, mate, for that. I hope the bill isn't too punishing. I'm
What,
sure
you're
for
gonna
that.
bill him for your presence?
Yeah, this is advertising, so
Oh
I'll
yeah, okay. Sweet, sweet. I get that. I
but
get that.
but yeah. So luckily, Mum and Dad were out there on their Huntsman Centurion. So again,
Were they
another.
out there, or just happened to be out there, or were
They
you?
were no, we took two boats out,
Oh yeah.
and they dragged us back. I'll tell you what, that big V8 Merc, when you're right behind it being towed, sounds really good.
So, yeah, how long was the tow?
Oh, maybe a good 30-40 minutes back in.
Ooh,
Pretty
that's a long
slow.
one. Yeah,
Yeah, and the wind got up going under the Waitangi Bridge. If anyone knows the Waitangi Bridge, you've got
narrow.
quite narrow pylons. Maybe, oh, gee, how far? How I'm going to say maybe 8 meters apart. And and bit of current, bit of wind, and Dad who had no idea what he was doing, and yeah, there was almost bits of fiberglass all over the oysters under the bridge.
Jesus, bro. I love it, eh? I love it. Well, your dad's boat, it was a showboat. And I love emphasizing the word was. Someone's got to do it.
Yeah, it was a boat show boat, but yep, there's definitely been a few, let's say, additions,
Subtractions.
yeah,
A good maths
subtraction
lesson.
to that. Um,
Oh.
so yeah,
Oh man, hey, we've all done it. Like shit, you know how I did that thing where I left that washer or whatever off the prop, and the prop
yes,
ate its way into the housing and cost like 3.5 grand to fix the outboard.
yeah, we've all done those things. It always when you have something new, eh? Or when in
Yep.
your case, yeah, you forgot to put a piece on, and yeah, that's an expensive mistake, that one too, wasn't it?
Oh, bro, lucky I had insurance on the boat, and that covered that.
Yeah.
Well,
Did it
what did
cover
I pay? Like,
stupidity from the owner? Did it?
yeah, amazing, eh? It's great.
I'll have to check that's in my cover too.
Fuck, bro. Like, otherwise I'd have been up for a new lower leg, and that's
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
like,
that's expensive.
yeah, it does. It gets real expensive real quick. Hey, I have to admit, so I got my in-law a new boat.
Oh, new boat news. This will be the heading for the podcast. New boat news. Let's
Yep.
hear it first. Ladies and gentlemen, strap in. This isn't dog of the month, although I can probably anticipate the confusion.
So, do you want the story? Do you want the story?
Give me the story, bro.
Okay, so this is it's probably going to be a conflict of interest for my work. But anyway, I was out on a job, and I was looking at. I'm a civil engineer, and I was looking at a slip that we had to build a retaining wall for
Hmm.
to stop this community around where we are from basically losing their road, the access road.
Oh, you're an absolute savior.
Yep, legend. So I was talking to the guy whose house it affected, and we got chatting about the slip and all this sort of stuff. And anyway, and we got chatting, and then he said, "Oh, you into boats and fishing? Yeah. Come have a look at my boat." So chewed my ear off for a bit, and it was quite nice. Talk shit, and he said, "Oh, you after a dinghy?" And I'm like, "Oh, not me personally, but my in-law's been looking at one. He wants to go and fish off the beach, this side of Kapiti Island." And he's like, "Well, there's one down there. It's been there for about 5 years, 6 years maybe. Some 15-year-old schoolboys dropped it off one day and haven't been back since. And we need to get rid of it because it's taken up the
Just,
picnic
just,
table
just
space."
what you want to hear from the previous owner. Yeah, that thing's been sitting there collecting dust, water, and everything else. Rot.
Well, you'll love this as it gets better, right? And I say, "Oh yes, yeah, I'll come pick it up, man. Do you have the key for the lock, the chain?" "Oh no, I don't have the key." I said, "Oh, is it your boat?" He's like, "No." But I can assure you, the kids are probably like 20 years old plus now, and gone off on a different adventure and I went round here. So, okay. So anyway, I came back and he prepared the boat for me kindly.
Well,
Yep.
but he'd chopped the chain. Is that what you
Yeah.
mean by prepared the boat?
Pulled all the leaves and shit out of it and all that sort of stuff. And I was like, "Yeah, cool." Chucked it on my trailer and off I went to give it to Mark. And so he's been getting it going again, which is kind of cool. So
And so,
it's
what
like,
is it?
oh man, what is it? I would liken it to a Parker craft, but it's not called a Parker craft. It's called something else. It sort of looks like a bit like a de Havilland.
So, so this is New Zealand's. So you're saying the leading story on New Zealand's least listened to and talked about podcast is you finding someone else's Parker craft chained to the
Piece of shit.
beach and giving it to your in-laws.
Yeah, great, eh?
No wonder this podcast isn't taken off, bro.
But anyway, so this dude, he got rid of the boat that he wanted to get rid of, which is cool. That wasn't his by the sounds of things. And my in-law's having a ball. He's having to drill out all these rivets and replace them with, new rivets, blah, blah, blah. Doing some other shit to what's that? The stuff, that rubber strip that goes around the boat.
Oh, like a fender strip type
Yeah,
thing?
what he's doing that, and
Yeah.
he's made it into like thick rope instead of the rubber strip that it was. So it's actually
Nice,
looking
yeah.
pretty cool.
Cool.
And he's got his 4 horsepower that used to be on that sailboat that we had to go on. Do you remember that?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, he got that going again, and so we've put it in the duck pond and bloody had a putt around in it. It was
Wow, that's a real boating adventure.
pro. It's
A
everything
duck
from
pond on an old Parker craft.
Well, your boating days started in a duck pond, didn't they?
Oh yes, they did too. But I'm just saying, in terms of a riveting yarn to open the podcast,
Well,
But
I'm just saying, there are beautiful days in Kapiti, and I just thought, for my father-in-law and I said to him, "Hey, you get that boat ready for Christmas, and on Christmas Day, hopefully the weather's good, we're going to take it out and land some snaps, because we were nailing them last Christmas. Why not do it again?"
well, it'll be the gift that keeps on giving. I certainly hope those kids don't return to the boat at Christmas time to find that their boat not there
Hey,
anymore.
Mark, can you paint it red can black, please?
Yeah, I definitely think a paint job should be part of your restoration project there. Oh, that is exciting news. Just one thing I should mention with our podcast, so a little bit of admin to get out of the way. We've had heaps of feedback from the last episode, which was fantastic. It's actually been really cool to hear from some of you.
When
A
was that
lot of
last
people.
episode?
The one talking about that Ray, well, we talked about a few boats, but particularly that Ray Glass 3000.
Oh yes, I can
Really
see what
quite
you
a
mean. Yeah,
quite
I
a
can see.
Marmite boat, quite polarizing. Have had
Oh
lots of
my,
people.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, have shared our concerns or feel the same way about it. But one piece of feedback we got is that
Positive or negative?
a work on, which is something we're going to do, is that we film this. We basically make this as a podcast normally for listening, obviously, but so many more of you are actually watching on YouTube for reasons that escape me.
Yeah, why do
And
they want to
so,
watch us?
well, me sitting in a sort of dim kitchen and you sitting on some sort of rattan bed.
Oh, that's
Not
actually just my
exactly.
bed.
Maybe it's those ASMR freaks familiar, but but, but
ASMR.
I
I've got
don't
to
know
look
what
this
it
shit
stands
up, bro.
for.
You're a weird cunt, eh?
But
Can
while
I
you're
say that
doing
word?
that, yeah, while you're doing that,
Okay, cool. I wasn't
um,
sure.
we have been sending you to our Instagram to go look at the boats we're talking about. And someone said, hey, it'd be really nice if part of the video we could put the boats we're talking up on screen as well.
Well, that sounds like
So
admin for you, bro.
it is a little bit of that, but I'm more than happy to do that for the listeners. So if you're watching this, well, you'll be seeing the boat. So I'll try and get a picture of that god awful thing Christian's just spoken about, and obviously the boats we're going to talk about in this episode. Of course, if you are just a audio listener, you can still head to our Instagram page at Unable Seaman and check out what we're talking about. And we have plenty to talk about this month, bro. A
Yes.
boat I want to talk about. There's two boats. So I'm going to start with one that you and I
Mhm.
have spoken a little about off air before,
Mhm.
but again, a listener has put it forward and wants us to talk about it. So we've talked a lot about Machina.
Mhm.
We've talked a lot about Dicky.
Mhm.
Okay, we've talked a lot about the biggest surtees and those sorts of things. So we've talked a lot about some of these alloy hardtops.
Mhm.
Okay, we've even talked about that ugly thing that you like, the Inner Vision.
Well, I really like that, eh?
You really like that. You rang me the other day all barred up about the new Inner Vision or
Hey, and you
a Inner
actually said to
Vision.
me, you were like, actually, Christian, I kind of like that one. That was the one with the yellow seats.
Well, if you kind of like that, if you kind of like boats that are a little bit edgy, then you're going to love this. Now, I'm hoping I'm going to say the name right. Machina Boats. Looks like it should be spelt Machina. I've had to look up
Macachina.
the correct pronunciation, and they have a boat, the 851, I think it is.
So is it said? Do you say it Machina or do you say it
Machina
Machina?
8 Machina, I think. Well, I think you properly pronounce it's spelt Machina. It's pronounced Machina, I believe. If you're
Oh, I
listening
like
from
this. I like these ones.
that 851, that is just an absolute weapon. I will admit they are very much a Marmite boat. Some people not so hot on it, but I think that's
Mate,
so good looking.
I'm like any good counsel. I don't care what you say, Ben. I don't care about your opinion. Thank you very much. And I'll do it anyway. I like this. That's great. This 851 is beautiful.
So we'll endorse another YouTube channel here, the Captain, who really good boat reviews. If you listen to our last podcast, one of our frustrations with boat reviews is that, particularly like Boat in New Zealand and some of these New Zealand ones, is they're so bloody soft. They will just go through and say all the nice things about a boat. They won't even tell you the price of the thing or any sort of like, cons or whatever.
Nah.
the captain actually
Oh,
do a
he's
really
actually a
good
bit of
boat
a.
review, and
He's a
they
bad man, eh?
but they're good. That's what you want to hear. That's the sort of reviewing I'd love to do one day.
Yeah.
But they do a review of this boat. Make sure you go check that out. This all black Machina 851 with this sort of tan interior. It looks almost like a Bentley.
I'm
Beautiful,
just trying to
beautiful boat.
find it, eh?
Yeah, and sorry, the one they review is the 951. I think I prefer the 851.
Fair
Um,
enough.
Look, there is a couple of bits I don't like. The gunnels at the back very high, which I think you'd struggle to reach over and get fish. Um, and on
Surely
the
not you with your,
with my height,
Hercules
yeah.
figure. What do we say? You're a demigod with a well-filled trouser?
Exactly, exactly. And my well-filled trouser wouldn't even get over the side of that bloody railing if if I was trying to have a wee. So that's a hard no from me with that boat. But
Ah,
I
no.
but I
I love
do
that.
love that they've gone out on a bit of a limb with their design. I think that's really cool. They've got these sort of axe blade type things along the front. Again, audio listeners, sorry, you do need to go check this boat out, but you'll know what I'm talking about. These two lines which sort of like divert spray back down. But it's the interior which is the showstopper. It's just a beautiful
It's
interior, like
like
something out of a
a
Bentley.
Nah, bro. I reckon it's like an old American muscle car with all that leather.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I feel yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah,
So
proper power up.
that was a YouTube listener who wanted us to talk about that boat. Now, 851 Mackinac or Makaira 850,
Oh, you're a dick. Oh.
or another one for that matter.
Can I come back to you on that one?
You can come back to me on that
It's
one.
a really tough one, bro. Like, put it this way: if you were to give me either of them, I wouldn't be disappointed. But if I had to choose one myself with my own money, I'm going to be hard pushed to pick.
Yeah.
I like,
What
like they're both
talk me through
awesome.
your thought process. What do you like? Let's start with Makaira. We've talked a lot about them on previous podcasts, but what draws you to them?
Okay, there's not many boat companies that are that confident about their hull design that they will put multiple videos up on YouTube of their boats bashing through like a 2 meter swell and a 30 knot breeze, and it looks fine.
Yeah, I think you've hit the nail on the head there. I mean,
They're
they're
that
Lloyd
confident
spec.
in their boat that they do that, and you look at it and go, that boat's not getting smacked around.
Yeah,
Fuck.
yeah, the guy Alan, I can't remember his surname, but he's the brains behind Makaira Boats. He comes across anyway as a pretty switched on individual who really understands the science of designing a boat and
Yeah,
seems to be fairly well respected in the in their game. Um, the owner of Machina Boats, he is on the video. I cannot remember his name, sorry, but he strikes me as a guy that um, yeah, he knows his stuff too, and he admits that these boats are very much you like them or you loathe them.
yeah, yeah,
I like some of the cool features. Like there's a in the just simple things, right? I'm always impressed by boats where someone's used a boat and thought that's a pain, I could fix that, or how could this be better? Example in the back, in the sort of parcel shelves, if you like, you've got the two trays um, for storage. So normally most boats have one sort of shelf along the back that can put things in. That has two.
yeah.
I know that sounds boring, but it's just little things like that. You think that's clever.
Man, I don't know. Like, I'd probably at the moment, like, I'm looking at the 850 from Makaira. I'd probably have to go with Makaira just because I've seen more of it and how it goes through the water. That's
Mm,
probably the only reason why I'd go. I've just got a bit more confidence right now with what I've seen. I haven't
yeah,
seen the Machina like smack through some real nasty shit.
yeah,
But in all fairness, I don't know. You'd be
yeah,
stoked with both.
yeah. I think you would be too, and I think it's awesome that, and we've said this before. It's actually awesome. There's so much choice out there for customers. I mean, there's so much more bespoke boating. I mean, we know that the big brands, your Surtees, Stabicraft, Senator, those sort of mainstay brands, and they all do boats similar size.
Yep.
But it's cool that now we've got these companies who are taking that to the next level. And
Man.
you know,
So
I
so
Surtees comes across as this hard sort of brand. I would have either one of those boats.
sure, yeah.
The Makaira or the Machina
But let me
over
put
those
the
anyway.
hard question to you, Jake.
Yeah.
You've got 10 seconds to tell me which boat and why.
Out of those
9.
two,
Yep. 8.
yeah,
7.
I'd go with the Machina. Yeah,
Oh, you go for the Machina.
yeah, Machina. I mean, I still don't know how
Machina.
we're saying this. Machina. You
We'll
know
just we'll
what?
keep trying.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
No, I would. I think I like the way that thing looks, and I know
Oh, it's
that's
beautiful.
such a like shallow way of looking at it.
Well, it's your toy, isn't it? You gotta like your
Yeah.
toy.
So here's I'll tell you why. I I don't know enough about design of boats or materials and all those sort of high spec that make them bulletproof. I know that a Makaira is bulletproof. I can
Mm,
even with my simple brain, I can watch a video, I can watch it go through the waves, and I think that's yeah, they are absolutely bomb proof.
mm, mm, mm.
My big question is, do I need that? I don't need to smash through all of I go fishing, I go jigging in a few deep pins, but I'm not going out when it's marginal.
Nah, you don't want to, eh?
And stuff. So I think it's awesome that we have boats that can do that because there are guys who are dead serious and go out
And get caught
regardless.
out and need to come
That
back.
isn't me. So
Yeah,
therefore I shift to something of okay, well what do I like? And I love coming into a bay and I want people to go, wow, that thing's cool, and I love that high spec finish and
yeah.
I think there's no denying that Machina is more eye catching
Oh, mate, and
than
you look at
anything on
that.
the water, not just Makara than anything on the water. That they have nailed that. What the hell is that?
Oh, mate, and
You
like you
know?
see the captain's one where it's like the 951 with the twin. Are they 425 Yamis on the
Yeah,
back?
yeah,
Like it just looks like a missile,
yeah.
and
So
it's proper sexy, eh?
it is. So it's a very very cool boat. Another boat that has just been released from our old friends down in Hamilton, Tristram
Uh,
Marine,
okay.
and I'm going to come out and say I think the most pointless boat they make.
Oh,
They've just released a
straight
new
away.
691. I'm
Hold
coming
up.
in hot with this one.
TRISTRAM six
So
nine
Tristram
one.
Tristram 691. Now this is not a new model for them. They've always made a 691. Okay. Um, but they've given it what they call a refresh. So what they've done is and this is their words, Tristram's words. They've taken some of the features from their bigger boats, their 701, their 741, and they've filtered it down to that model. Tried to give it a bit of a refresh. Can you tell me, if you're looking at their whole range, can you tell me why I think it's a pointless boat?
I'm just looking at it right now, and
Don't
I'm
look at the boat, look
struggling.
at their range.
Okay, their range. I'm going to their range.
There's a stunned
There's a
silence here.
640.
So
They all look the fucking
it's a
same, bro.
641, yep. So 691, think about the length, and then
Yep. So it's 7
what
meters. There's a 701 Vanquish.
oh, exactly. They've made the same boat twice. The 691, okay, I've looked at the specs.
So
There is
what is the new one
very
they've made? Sorry, is
They've
six.
made a 691. So the 691's always existed. They made the 701, which is a hard top and a Vanquish.
Yeah.
That's been out for, I don't know, probably 10 or 15 years now. Beautiful boat. Big
Yeah.
Angry Fish had the 701 hard top. Cool boat. And they've actually, not long ago, actually made a 741 Vanquish, which was their biggest, well, not their biggest hard top, their smallest hardtop that they put a stern drive in. There we go. There's a mouthful for you. So the 701 is an outboard only. It's their smallest hardtop. If you're following along, they also did a Vanquish version. So the 701 Vanquish was their big open top boat.
I don't
So
get
the
this, eh?
691 was sort of obsolete. So for them to go and put all this R&D saying they're bringing the features down, sort of feels like they're cannibalizing their model there.
I just don't get it.
So you get a bigger fuel tank in a 701.
It's 245 liters for the 691.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just trying to piece this together, and I'm battling to.
I
Okay,
think, look, the headline things is like, I think you get maybe 50 more liters in the smaller boat, the 691. I think there's a degree difference in the dead rise, and there's like 400 mil of length.
okay, so like whatever.
So, I mean, nothing against the boat. Like I've watched a video on it and stuff, and I think it's a lovely boat. I just think, why, if you're going to put all that time and effort, why not make something different?
Yeah, I
It's
actually don't.
who looks at a 701 and goes, do you know what's wrong with this? It needs to be about 400 mil shorter. Like, I mean,
Yeah,
it's not
okay.
even that. It's not even the 691 because I don't. They call those models 691, 701. We don't. We know that's not the actual dimensions of it. So
Nah,
anyway,
nah, nah.
it's sort of
I'll be honest. I look at it and I go, maybe one is like this. The 691 looks a little bit more lake boaty. Okay, a bit lower and sleeker. Whereas the 701 looks, maybe it looks a little bit taller in the gunnels.
yeah.
Maybe, but like that's that's all I can see. I'm not even looking at the internal layout because like whatever, that can change. However you
I just think, yeah, like, well, what were they up to? But it is a inverted commas new model for them, or a refreshed model for them. So make sure you head along to their socials and check it out. One thing Tristram Marine do very well is a social media channel.
do
So
they? Okay.
go check out them on Instagram and YouTube. There's a cool review of that there. But as I say, a little bit pointless from our opinion. Moving on, I want to show you a new boat, Christian. We were talking about Machina a minute ago. We were talking about the 8.5 meter one. You remember maybe two podcasts ago, we talked about
Mate,
mid-sized sedans. We talked about
Jake,
Ray
I
Glass 30.
cannot remember what I had for breakfast. So no, I cannot remember what we spoke about when we last
Okay,
yarned.
so we talked about Dickey 35, Ray Glass 3500, um, the 30-foot Machina out. Like we were talking about those big, the sort of mid-sized launches, just around 30, 40 feet.
Right.
Um, and I want to throw a new one at you, a Sargo 36. Now, I've just sent you the link in the chat. Now, they're sort of a pilot house design, which I quite like.
Range. What size am I looking at? 36, did you say?
36. They do a range of models from a 30 up to they do a 45 as well, which I'm
Oh
not
yeah.
quite so hot on.
I didn't actually expect you to like this.
Yeah, it is definitely a bit different
You're
for me.
getting like more refined, like a better tasting port with your age, bro.
So, well, I mean, there are some things I don't like. I'll start with the things I don't like. The looks are a little bit iffy. If
Yep.
um,
And
it's
am I
sort of
am
that.
I just so I know, so I'm comparing apples with apples. Am I looking at this 36 with a flybridge or not?
No, just the 36.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
This is a boat that I like. I'm surprised that you would like it.
yeah, and I thought you'd like it, and I'm surprised that I like it too. But there's a couple of things I like. One, I
Well,
think.
hold on. You got to go back a step. You're going to tell what you don't like
Oh,
first.
I don't like about it. Yes, sorry. Good on you for keep. So the pilot house design. I'm not a fan of the whole backwards windscreen, like up and down windscreen situation that looks like a Stabicraft.
Yep.
And
Okay.
if anyone who's hanging around to the end of this podcast for Dog of the Month, strap in because it's not the only straight up and down windscreen we're going to talk about on this podcast. I
Yeah.
also don't think there's enough room at the back. Like Kiwis love boats with big areas at the back for that indoor outdoor flow and for
That
entertaining and that sort of
fishing
thing.
and yeah, yeah,
And there's
yeah.
just not quite enough room for me. However, switching to the positives, huge swim platform out the back.
Huge man.
Fantastic. I
Yeah,
wish
yeah.
Kiwi boats would wake up to that because we definitely don't. Like you look at the 3500, tiny. Some of those Dickies don't even have it. I think you can option it like on later, but a bit of an afterthought. This is cool. This is a nice big swim platform. You've got a side door around the side of the hull. So
Yeah.
like so the side of the cabin, you can actually come in like a tugboat almost, which is quite cool. And then if you watch the review, and I encourage you to go along to Boating New Zealand to watch the review, everybody, there is a secret cabin on this thing. So there's the front cabin with the double berth. Then under the seat flips up and there's stairs down to this whole another double bed.
Wow.
Really cool use of space. And I think that is a really cool boat, bro. Very traditional.
Because I'm looking here and I've got these like two single beds that I can't work out where they are in the boat.
Exactly. That's it. Hidden away.
Awesome. That's freaking cool, bro. I
It's a
dig it.
Sargo 36 for those listening at
Can
home.
you imagine like that would be a mint boat for Wellington? You'd just
Yeah,
put on autopilot, head across to the Sounds, and just hoon your way over there.
yeah. No, I think I couldn't agree more with you there. Um, yeah, made in Sweden, I think.
And check this out: the lowest spec engine is twin Volvo Penta D4 270s, so like 540 horsepower,
Yeah,
which is pretty nuts, really.
that's
And then the top
cool,
spec
eh?
is like 880 horsepower from two Volvo Penta D6s.
Yeah, cool,
It's
eh?
pretty
Like
cool.
just a good, honest boat. In terms of pricing, we don't get us started on this. We can never
No, you never
get
find out.
pricing. Made in Finland, sorry, not Sweden, as I said a minute ago. So something from the Finnish, from the New Zealand market. I think that's a cool boat, bro.
And check out that swim platform. Yeah, man. Good
Yeah,
find.
you're
Good
loving
find.
it.
No, yeah,
Now,
yeah. It's one of the better ones you've shown me lately.
it is. Now, this a topic that you phoned me in a hot flush about 10 days ago. So, to explain to the listeners Christian and I's relationship, we sort of don't hear from each other, and then all of a sudden, I'll hear, I'll get this phone call or a message from Christian, bro, need a chat. And it's never about, how's your partner, or in Christian's case, how's your two kids, or what's happening in his life. I could barely tell you what Christian has done of significance in his in the last year. I think maybe a second kid came along somewhere, but Christian phoned me his last hot flush of frenzy. Phoned me going, bro, those Mercury V10s. Tell me the perfect boat to put one of them on. And it got me thinking. And we had a really intense discussion. I mean, I should probably check in with Chelsea and check she's still alive and stuff, by the way. But we had a really intense discussion about what would be the best boat to put one of those V10s on. And you obviously phoned that through to me. We went through a few options, and I'm going to come back to you in a minute. Jono, who was fixing my boat today, has just told me a Machina has just been fitted with one. So one of the models we were talking about is actually a 750, which strikes me as a hell of a lot of power for a 7.5 meter boat. And he showed me a video of it on the muffs. Now, oh my God, did it sound good?
Bro, I honestly, I think about this all the time, and I know it's stupid, but I go, because my dream fishing trip, right? And it's a very, very simple fishing trip. I head out from my boat ramp and I go to this place called Hunter's Bank. Cool. And it's glassy. And I'm fucking tapped going there. The boat's like barely controllable, just flying. And they have a mean day jigging, right? And you just fucking, whatever, you land a fish. Who cares? It's not about that. You talk shit with mates. And then you're on the run home, the sun's setting. And you're like, let's wind this fucker up and let's really give it a tow.
Okay.
And like, I
And so
think
your
about
Mercury
it.
V10's your motor, eh?
Oh, bro. Well, actually, I've got a soft spot for that Ray Glass 850 or 800 that's got the twin 225 HPTIs on the back.
Those old two strokes.
Oh,
Yes.
bro. Like, part of me really wants that so bad, eh? Can you imagine those twin two bangers screaming on the way
Imagine how much
home?
fuel it'd be using for
Who
that.
gives a fuck, bro?
Just to put a bit of context, there was this Ray glass for sale. It's probably not for sale anymore. That popped up on Trade Me that Christian and I both put on our watch list, unbeknownst to each other, and then ended
We're
up
so
sending it
similar,
to
man.
each other. It was this Ray glass 850, which normally have like a Yamaha stern drive or or an outboard. This had these two. What were they? 225 were they?
Yeah, 225 V6
HPDI,
Yamaha 2-strokes HPDIs.
it would just eat fuel.
Mm.
Like you think, whatever boat you have, if you're listening to us and you think, geez, my
Mm-hmm.
boat uses a bit of fuel, double it, and that would be what it would cost to just run this thing on the flushing muffs.
Oh, bro, you remember when I had my boat, Radicat, and it had that Yami 225 on the back, and like
Yeah,
it was beautiful. It just sounded amazing, and it drank. It had a severe drinking problem disorder, hence why we're not in a relationship anymore. But like, it was amazing. Going 100 kilometers an hour in water in like a 6 meter boat, and I just thought,
yeah,
well, you know what I need in my life? Two of those on an 8 meter ray glass, or even better, as we've just discussed, a V10
so
Mercury.
the new V10 Merc. So this one was on a Makara. I know Ray Glass. We talked about the 3000 last time. I know they are working
Yeah,
hard behind the scenes to put one,
I don't want a ray
strengthen the
glass
transom to
3000.
go on there.
I want something smaller and faster and a little bit scarier.
So, what would you bang it on if you had an option to repower any boat in New Zealand with the V10? It's only a matter of time before someone puts one on a ski boat, by the way.
Yeah, I know, me no. Oh
But
man, what
it's a
would I?
tricky question. It's a really
Like
tricky question.
I know that they put them on those exopar things with the funny like,
Yeah,
yeah, and you go, yeah, yeah, I understand that. That'll make sense. There's a couple of those American catamarans in the marina that I see around me.
yeah,
But to be honest, bro, I'd probably bolt it on that 750 Machina.
yeah.
That black on black with
Black on black,
a
big black.
V10 just screaming up the back. Like it'd have a top speed of something stupid, like 90 k's an hour, probably 100 k's an hour. Be amazing.
Yeah,
You can imagine it.
I
Picture
can
this,
imagine
Jake.
that.
Picture this. You've just landed a solid, I don't know, 18, 20 kilo kingfish. Your arms are tingling. The sun's about to set, and we're like, let's go
Your
home.
missus
It's
makes you rum
glass.
because she's so proud of you.
Yep, yep. And yeah, it's glassy. And we think, fuck, we're a bit late home. Missus might be a bit bloody upset about this. Yarns, they're with us on the boat. They're sipping on a nice shardy.
They're topless. Yes.
The topless. Woohoo! Yes! This is the
No,
best
they
day of
will
my
be.
life.
They will be if they're going at 100k with a V10 howling away.
How good! How good! And then you just like let that thing eat the red line all the way home.
Oh, just imagine it.
Hey, and I want it just to be a little bit dangerous. Just a
So you're
little bit.
putting it on one of them. Oh, this is a really, really tricky question.
Yeah, well,
And
you put me on the spot, bro. So I had to pick something, and I was like, oh,
yeah,
that Marmite Machina just really does. It looks angry. It looks like it would fit it. And then part of me
yeah,
goes, well, fuck it, chuck it on the Tristram Vanquish.
yeah.
Put on the back of the Rayglass 850 that I just talked about. Oh, it'd be pretty hard to unbolt those 225s though.
Yeah. I think if you put a V10 on that, it would come through the middle of you, bro.
It probably would. It wouldn't handle it. But I don't know. I just go. There's so many cool boats you could put it on.
Yeah,
That
I
would
would
just
love to put it on like a big bow rider of some sort.
a
Who does a
big.
cool bow rider in New Zealand these days? There's a good question for you. Buccaneer do an excess.
Yeah, it's not. It's like 7 meters though. It wouldn't handle it. You
Yeah.
know that Mercury V10. Hold on, MERC
What does it weigh?
V10 4-stroke V10 400. I didn't realize it's 400 horsepower.
Yeah.
Here we go.
I'm trying to think who does a big bow rider. Tristram do a 691 bow rider, 690 I think it's called.
Yeah, but is that going to be
Nah, I wouldn't
like
see that. I think you've knocked it out of the park with that Machina because it is such a big, intrusive engine that looks quite intimidating. And when you've got it on a boat like that, I think that really would set it off.
eh? Now here we go, bro. So it's specs 5.7 liter V10, 316 kilos. Okay,
Okay,
it's actually
not too heavy.
not too bad. I'm just
So
gonna go to.
okay, could you put that on a Centurion?
I'm just gonna have a look and see. So we go Yamaha 300 outboard, just to see the weight difference, right?
The weight
The t-
comparison. Yeah, one of the
yes.
V8s. They do a 5 litre V8, don't they?
Yeah, yeah. So I'm just going for the 300 because you know how they made the 350 and all that sort of stuff. Let's just,
Yeah.
and I know I'm not comparing apples with apples, but I know they put 300s on the back of those Centurions. So 316 kilos versus. We're getting into it now.
This is real train spotting. This
A
is
bit nerdy,
great.
eh? We are a bit nerdy sometimes. Don't get me wrong. I like, yeah. V6 offshore. Oh, and they got that 450, and yeah, they got the 350. Oh, okay. How big do we go? The biggest one. V6, V8. Some. Huh. I I thought they did a 300. Why can't I find the 300? One more. 350, 225, 250. Huh. They go straight from a 250 all the way up to a 350.
But V8.
They got a V6 350. Yeah, they got a
We'll
V8
just
too.
okay.
I'm just saying because we know that the 350s on the back of the Centurion, and
Well,
how much
I'll
does it?
just jump in here. While Christian is meandering away, trying to find the way to that. If you do want to reach out to us or you're watching this, comment below on the YouTube channel or direct message us at Unable Seaman. If someone gave you a Mercury V10 and said strap it to any
296.
boat you want, we're really keen to hear what you think it would look good on. I think a big bow rider. I can't nail down what I'd have though.
Bro,
Uh,
they're only 16 kilos apart in weight.
from the Yamaha V8.
Yeah, the Yamaha 350 V6, sorry. The 4 point whatever liter Yamaha 350 V6 to the Mercury V10 is
Yeah.
296 kilos for the Yamaha versus 316. So sorry, what's that? That's 16 plus 4, so it's 20 kilos difference.
So that's nothing.
There's nothing, not in that size of boat.
Okay, that probably makes it for me then. I would go Huntsman Centurion.
Yeah, why not? Bolt it on.
That's what I'd do.
Probably the concern is like, can the transom handle having that much power put through it?
Yeah. Well, we know Huntsman built a good boat, but that could be asking a bit much of it. Hey, look, if
Yeah,
you're listening from Huntsman and you want to run the experiment,
yeah,
we'd
we
love to be a
can.
part of that.
Yeah, I want to fucking drive it.
Soft top, got to be a soft top
Do you
Centurion
know what's
too.
so funny is I was just on the website right now going Centurion. It had Centurion and HT, and I was like, nah,
Nah,
definitely, definitely
definitely.
soft top.
Like I love the hard top, and Flynn Jack's got that amazing one. But I think for this situation, because I'm with you there, you want the V10, you want to hear it, you want the wind in your hair, and I would want the Centurion with that darker gel they do.
Mm.
They do they
Mm-hmm.
do a greyish one they had at the boat show with really dark decals and cool
Mm-hmm.
light. I think
Mm-hmm.
that would look really really cool.
Yep. Why not? Oh, we're
Now
nerds, eh?
we are, and we've talked a lot about new boats in this episode. Unfortunately, Christian, a bit of a newsflash for you and potentially for our listeners.
What do you mean?
We're in a recession,
Oh yeah, I know that.
and every
Shit's bad,
time you
bro.
flick on the
Shit's
news, things are bad. Interest rates coming down, but the cost of living and all this. So I was thinking, okay, well, how does this affect boats? As we know, second-hand boat sales as well as new boat sales are very much in the toilet at the moment,
oh
particularly
mate.
second-hand boats.
That
I'm really pleased to hear some of our bigger boat manufacturers are still trading reasonably well, and the offshore market's supporting that, which is great to hear. But if you were trying to get rid of a second-hand, I don't know, Reglar 650, I'm not getting rid of mine, but if I
or a
was,
Ray Glass 850 with twin
two
225 two
two
strokes.
HPDIs on it, yeah,
That's
it
come
is.
down 30 grand in 3 months that I've
Is
seen
it
it
still for
on.
sale?
Yep. Yep.
Okay,
Just I had a look right now. Yeah.
take. I will put a link to that. I'll put it on the page here. Please have a look at that boat too, everybody, just for an absolute laugh. If you want to buy it, go buy it too. But
It's sitting on a
it,
stainless steel trailer. Like, how
yeah,
cool's that?
it's a very much a weird setup. Anyway, so us anyway with this whole recession and the economy and the doom and gloom, people like you and I can't afford a new boat. We can't go on all these boats we've talked about. We've basically just wasted 45 minutes of everyone's time. So,
What do we do?
what do we do? Well, doing up your boat. Now, I did a video not so long ago on the YouTube channel, Eight Unable Seamen, where I gave mine a bit of a cut and polish and just brought it back to life.
Hmm.
Okay, so if you want to go and have a look at me working hard, there's that video. But what?
I'm just putting working hard and Jake together. Okay.
Well, for the camera, I did. So we were thinking about. What I want to come to you, Christian, first. I've got some suggestions up my sleeve here. But best upgrades to your boat. What do you think if you're looking at your boat, you can't afford a new model? What are some ways that you can spend a little bit of money that's really going to bring your boat back to life, or make it feel sort of special again, that new experience again?
When I when I did up that 6 meter fiberglass thing that I had, that Radicat,
Yeah.
um, the thing that made it really pop was the carpet, new carpet.
Okay.
Yep. And then the same thing with that Sea Nymph, when I put in that fake teak flooring, EVA foam flooring,
Yeah.
that made it really pop. Yep. And it was cheap. It was like $300 to put
So that
to
that is that like a C deck product?
yeah. Well, it's not C deck. It's a piss take version of it.
Okay.
But yeah. Basically.
Okay, well, and that's exactly what was going to top of my list is C deck, or an
Got your C
equivalent
deck?
C deck, yeah, or an equivalent product. I think, yeah, carpet on a boat can.
Depends on the boat.
Is Christian messaging me something?
This is
Uh,
the Ray Glass with the twin
okay,
making
thank
video.
you. I'll put that. I'll make sure I put that link into
Guess
it.
what it's
And
towed by? A real recession eater.
oh,
A
what have we
Dodge
got here?
Ram with a big
Oh,
V8, mate.
yes.
Oh,
There,
fucking beautiful. Oh, you can get
nothing
that
screams I want to make love to my sister than a big American ute like that. That is
in.
horrific.
Howdy, partner. You want to make love to your sister?
Oh, I'm sorry anyone's driving
You
American
can
cars in general. Let's
you
go
cannot say
automotive for a
that, bro.
minute.
You cannot say that. Nothing screams more than I want to make love to
Put
my sister. Fucking
put
hell.
a pin in the hole doing up your boat for a minute. American cars are rubbish, aren't they?
Yeah, but
There's
they
not
don't.
one name one American car you would drive. You would own, sorry.
What do you mean?
Name one American car,
Like what vintage? Like I'd have
like
A Dodge
no, a
Charger. Oh, a
new.
new one. Oh, I don't mind the Dodge Challenger Hellcat. Like that's fucking cool. I'd do some skids in that all day.
It's just a big Scud missile that can only do one thing.
Yeah, big skids. Like
Then
how cool,
that's
Jake.
you're a Trump voter with that sort of. Hey, you'd be in that Rust Belt, whatever they call it, in the middle, where skids
Okay,
and
okay. I get you, but you were the one that wanted a turbo MR2, a red turbo
hey, a
MR2.
Japanese mid-engine. That's pretty much a Ferrari.
Okay, yeah, it is. But you remember this, eh? You're like, oh, should I sell my ute that I can tow my boat with and buy an MR2? And I looked at you, Jake, and I was like, eh? Now, I just want to liken this. This is back when Jake was flatting and doing the uni thing, right? So it's a few haircuts ago now. But I remember popping over when I was doing my diploma, and I'd pop in and catch up with Jake. He's laughing right now, right? Anyway, and I would liken that situation with him and his mates. It was hilarious. But there's a new TV show on where there's like four handicaps flatting together.
I've not seen that.
and I just like they're like, who put the dishwasher on? Who's cleaned the toilet?
I've not seen this show.
Haven't you? Oh
No.
yeah, it's actually a bit cringe that they even put that on TV in this day and age with all the PC-ness. But anyway, I just
Maybe
thought
it's the other way. Maybe that's why they do an acceptance thing. I suppose. But
maybe.
I'm not. I'm just going to sort of glaze over the fact you've compared my flat to that living situation.
Well, come on, bro. It was hilarious.
Where were you going with this?
Oh
Or
no, I
did
was
you?
just
We,
wanting to randomly rip into you.
oh, thanks. Okay. Well, anyway, back to how you can save money on your boat
Oh, sorry. Is that why we
before
talk
we
about
get
something
cancelled.
sensible?
Uh, so we talked about C deck. Now I want to talk electronics. Now, if Stu Savage is listening, which is a mate of mine, he's bought a Southern Sport
Cool.
7, and he's had it for a while. He's actually for sale. If you're looking to trade me, I'll put the link in the description. 7.5 meters. He's just put the stereo system. It would. I don't know how thick the welds are on that boat, but we were talking about how well made aluminium boats were a second ago. His one must be seriously well made to still be together
What does he
after
put in it?
pumping this thing. Holy shit! It seriously
Well, he's got a sub or
seriously
something stupid.
pumps it. Christian's just sent me the link for this TV show. Forgo flatting. Okay, this is okay. I'm going to leave that there before we get
There's
cancelled. But
Jake. There's
now,
Tamari.
anyway, so stereo system always a good thing to spend
So what,
your
does he have a
money on.
sub or something in the stereo?
Yeah,
And what
sub
is?
full fusion setup. These speakers. And so we won't get too technical, but I think the biggest thing you can do um, to help your boat marine stereo system or chaos stereo system for that matter too is run a decent amp. Put a lot of output and then obviously
And a
quality
second
speakers on
battery
behind
to
that.
fucking run that thing.
Yeah, exactly too. Uh, Also, fishing electronics, fish finders, radar. There's
Yeah.
so many cool things out there. I'm loving some of this new Simrad gear. Just
Man, that's one thing I got caught on. I thought I spent some good money, right? And this is back when I put that what was it, like a
it was a Garmin, wasn't it?
nah, it was a Lowrance TI 7
Oh,
or something.
that was a lemon. That thing that
Bro,
you
fourteen
couldn't
hundred
use it.
bucks back in like 2014, right?
Yeah,
You know, I never could use it, and it had this like total scan skimmer, whatever it was called. Rubbish, absolute rubbish. And I
yeah,
see now if I spent just 2,800, double my original
yeah,
input, what you can get is epic.
yeah. Oh, yeah. I think it's a really good point you make around ease of use. I mean, don't let the salesman talk you into all the features. Let them talk you about the benefit to you. And if you can't unlock those features, maybe you're not that handy on electronics. For God's sake, don't buy something you can't use. Because
Don't, yeah,
Christian and I are actually reasonably handy on the fish finder, and this Lowrance just had a mind of its own.
it was rubbish, eh? Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
it could total scan whatever. I don't know what the hell it was total scanning, but it never put us onto any fish. So
Nah, bro.
I'm sure the rep from Lowrance is going to be complaining that probably more us.
Yeah,
Um,
probably, but yeah.
One Another thing I thought I'd quickly add is a decent toilet on your boat,
And now, is this one that's like hooked up
a
to
proper plumbed in one. I mean, obviously there's the porta
the holding
potty,
tank?
Burns Co one. No, you don't need a holding tank. You just pump it over. You just throw it over the side, mate. It's barely.
It might just chuck it over there.
Or a porta potty. Can I just also I mean, Christian went dangerously close to cancelling us with his sort of flatting show a minute ago. I just want to call out some of these bloody boating reviews too. They go downstairs. Have you watched this when you watch a boating review? The reviewer, who's normally a male, goes downstairs and goes, and there's a toilet for the ladies. I think,
Yeah,
what
yeah, yeah.
do men not take a shit? Do men not use a toilet
Well,
too? Like,
when I've gone boating with you guys, I generally notice that you guys shit overboard.
yeah, I mean, I do, but Becky does too. To be fair,
I just love that. Hey, by the way, just letting everyone know that
we're gender equal in our boat. Everyone's rinsing them over the side.
rinsing them over the side.
But
Legend.
I do think that is a cool thing. Like I think obviously it's more difficult for women to use a bathroom to go to the bathroom on a boat, and I
Yep,
think to make a boat a little bit more family friendly, a toilet could be a good thing you can add reasonably cheap. That's going to
yep.
make your day out there a little bit more pleasant. Um, so I think that's a good one. An anchor winch.
Oh, bro, do I miss my bloody windlass? Eh? Holy cow!
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So whether you go, so a capstan, so for those that don't know, a capstan is where you have to go forward, wrap the rope around a drum
Still,
and keep it
still
on
better than
tension.
nothing.
But yeah, it takes the grunt work out. Normally you can't use chain on those, but it gets 90% of it done. Or the
Yep.
actual capstan where you can stand at the helm and just operate a switch. Just a little side note: you should never ever pull your anchor up using the winch. Does that make sense? No, that doesn't make sense.
No, you
You
just
should
said you got.
drive over the anchor with your
Yes.
engine and then pull the anchor straight up. Just a little tip for you
Oh
there
yeah,
to make
don't
the
pull your
master.
boat up on the anchor. Pull the anchor up to the boat.
Yeah.
Yep.
Another little one that I think is really cheap actually, and I think it'd be really effective, is some cool rims for your boat trailer.
Yeah, but that doesn't help your boating, mate. Like, if you were gonna actually go and go, what I want to do to help my boating, I totally agree with the sounds, the flooring, the winch. I would actually make the trailer easier to use, like guide rails, lights above the water. Do whatever you can, like give the trailer a birthday so you can actually make it easier to use and you get out in the water more. But putting rims on,
No, but that's not fun.
that's like I don't know what that's like. I'm just trying to think of something like a glow in the
No, but
dark condom. Whoop-dee.
but, but,
Fucking
but we're trying to give people that new boat feel on the cheap. And you look at all these boats now in magazines or at showrooms and stuff. They all have cool mag wheels. I mean, they will
okay.
get if you launch at somewhere like Waitangi Road, there's a very high likelihood they will get stolen. But
Yes.
for that first run down there, you're gonna look bloody top notch.
You look snazzy, man. Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
you'll
no,
be the best looking trailer tipped up on one side with one wheel left.
hey, I just want to say I've been looking at cheap Rayglass 650 Legends, so that's what you've got right now.
Yeah. What's cheap?
Um,
I'm
uh,
scared to. I'm scared to know what the value of one of these.
1998 Rayglass 650.
It's the same year as mine. No, one
Yep,
year older.
500 hours, petrol,
V
engine,
stern drive or outboard.
stern drive. I'm looking at stern drives, not outboards.
Yeah,
44,000.
that's not too bad.
That's pretty good.
How many hours is that?
500.
So I paid 57.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of COVID tax in there because it was on the tail end of COVID, and mine had done three. No, it had only done 100 hours since the rebuild. About 100, no, 150 hours maybe.
Yeah, but
Had a
that's kind
rebuild.
of cool, eh? And
That,
then
that's
what
a
else I
cheap
see
boat.
here? What else I see here is a Bayliner Trophy 2352, so the 7.5 meter,
Yeah,
but with the new 300 horsepower. You know the Mercury that has the flames on the engine,
yeah, yeah.
like the Hell something, whatever it's
They're
called.
a they're a V8, I think. You're talking stern drive again, eh? They're a
Yeah. Like
6.2 V8, I want to see. I
I'm just
want to
gonna
say.
send it to you right now. Jump into it and just tell me. I know you were
I
talking about
never
doing up your
thought
own.
you would recommend a Bayliner Trophy. I've
I,
always
no,
had a soft spot for these. These are a seriously cool walk around boat.
check it out, bro.
Epic fishing platform.
I'm
Look,
gonna show you.
see, look at that swim platform with the stern leg under it. Okay, that's an American boat from 1990. Help me out here.
Eight.
Six, sorry,
Let's-
1996, and
Yeah.
they've thought of that. You can actually fish without getting caught up in the engine.
Now look at that engine bay, bro. Any boat that's got flames on the engine bay,
Oh, I want it.
yeah.
I want it. That's
He's running
49
Furuno. He's
grand.
got a lovely big bench seat.
That's not the original engine 2014, so that's actually been repowered. So that's a very good one to jump on if you're
How,
into
how cool, eh?
fishing. Walk around, great for stick baiting, soft baiting. That's a
It says
seriously
it
cool boat.
cruises at what does he cruise at? Comfortably takes 10 people on board. Bloody hell. Um. Oh yeah. Gets out of the hole effortlessly.
It would do with a big V8.
Yeah. Cruises at 25 knots. Fuck, that's a speed your boat can only dream of.
Yeah, so I had 30 out of it the other day before the starter motor went.
Bro, yarns.
30.
Fucking
I
yeah.
did. Whenever Becky's on the helm, she gets 30. Becky has, so you know how like you fire your boat up at the boat ramp. Okay,
Yeah,
so I'll
literally
run
up.
you through my boat ramp situation, and people at home
Oh
may or
yeah, and
may not have
also
a different
tell me about how
experience.
you do your taxes too, why don't you? Fucking hell.
So we have a situation, and I encourage all listeners, and we've given males shit on this podcast earlier today, and I'm going to call some of you males out. You need to get your partners involved in the boat process, so that they know what they're doing if something went wrong, but also just like it's their boat too. It's not your boat. It's their boat too. Anyway, so I back it down. I unhook it. Becky fires up the engine and she hovers the boat off, just letting it warm up, ticking over, and then when I'm ready, she comes in, picks me up, does a really good job at picking me up. She actually drives it on the trailer when we get home too, which is pretty impressive.
Jesus.
She's getting pretty bloody trick at doing that.
Oh no.
So then at Waitangi, there's maybe a 3 or 4 minute meander out to the 5 knot, into the 5 knot zone, and you can go. Now I always just gradually bring it up, let all those fluids get around the engine, let those oils warm up. Not Becky. Becky leans on the throttle like she's staggered home drunk. Full bloody send.
Good girl.
The engine roars into. I mean, it sounds good, but I think, Jesus, those fluids that have been sitting there, particularly when the boat's been sitting there all winter,
Good girl. I
it
like this
just
girl,
rings it out.
yes. Yes.
Everything's rumbling away. And I'm thinking, oh, Jesus. And look, one way to blow everything out. But we got 30 knots out of it yesterday.
Well, I'm glad she's the one that can get 30 knots. You, however,
Yeah,
couldn't get 30
I just don't
knots.
like pushing it. I'm too scared.
Because she takes it basically so everything's rattling, shaking, and the fucking thing's hitting the rear day. Like, it's just eating it.
Yeah.
Good
She is
girl.
like, how like we understand what could go wrong, I think, whereas I think you just think, oh man, I really hope that the oil level is good, or I hope that oil's like viscous enough to go through all the parts of the engine. Whereas B's just going, I just want to get there fast.
Yeah. Hey, this is. I don't have to fix this when it breaks. So whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's
So
brilliant.
that's our little tips to doing up your boat. I'm sure there's lots of others. A good cut and polish, new decals going to your either like a wrap or getting your original decals done. So, for example, my
Yeah.
boat being a ray glass, before I bought it, the guy took it in and got all the new style decals on it. Looks really sharp. So, if you're
Right.
listening,
I've
you're
got another
sad you
one.
can't afford the new Sargo 36 or the Machina 850. Look out in your garage and go, do you know what? My old girl could do with a bit of loving.
Jake,
And then look
I,
at your
w-
boat.
I went and then look at your boat. Oh, you're a legend. So I went into this dude that sells like perspex, acrylic, and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a fun fact because this is where another thing. Your windscreen, right? A lot of old boats have windscreens that the owners can replace. So it's not like a molded one that the
Okay.
like a I don't know, a Haynes Hunter, for example. But anyway, a lot of them you can actually replace them yourself. He said if you take the windscreen in, Tim, and do it, it's like $200 to $300 in materials, and he'll give you
That's
back a brand new windscreen. Now, a lot of these
that's
windscreens,
cool.
they break, or they crack, or they fade. And I said to him, "Oh, can you get that cool color that they all come in?" And he's like, "What do you mean?" He said, "Oh, they all like these older boats are purple. You know how it's like a purple porno purple color, like
Yeah.
violet."
Yeah.
He said, "No, they all are smoky grey, and over time it turns that purple color when it's been in the sun."
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. So yeah, bro, that's a cheap one. If your windscreens are fucked
That's
and faded and foggy and scratched, $300.
yeah. That's bloody cheap. So where did you go for that? Sorry, just so people want to know.
Oh, it's somewhere in Petone. PET. This is just in
But
Wellington, but there's other people that work with acrylic.
okay, so but like, was it a generic company that people would know about, or was it just like a
Oh,
glass
there's
place,
just
or
if you just typed in like you know, I don't know, acrylic or perspex, um,
yeah,
Wellington or wherever you are, there'll be a place.
yeah, okay, cool. Oh, that's a good tip. Now, I'm sorry, I've been a little distracted there. I am trying to find. We'll move to our favourite segment before we wrap up. Dog of the month. Now, plenty to choose from here. I do want to say thank you to a listener whose name is Jacob. How do you say it? Jacob Plasmeyer. I hope I've said that name, Plasmeyer.
Cool.
He's one of our Instagram followers. He's messaged me a few times. He's been a real good supporter of our podcast. Mate, thanks for listening. Also, thank you for sending through um, my contribution to Dog of the Month, or his via him. I thought a listener one would be good. Christian, you've seen it already. Um, again, we will post this. we, we will post this to our. So I can really get this to our Instagram page, or obviously on the screen now if you're watching on YouTube. Where do we start to describe it?
Is
It
this the one that's like a jet
maybe
ski?
yeah. I'm gonna start with jet ski. Although if you are looking at it, you'll sort of see why I'm not committing with the word jet ski. There is some
You,
handlebars off someone's bike.
they're not a
Then there's
mustache.
what could it looks like it should be out of a play off a playground, like a kid's playground
Oh Jesus!
thing on top of a kayak. Um, I don't know what powers
Can
it.
I read it to you?
Yeah, if you
As
read
is
it,
in photos, has no motor, be a good little project for someone, has a hold in it. So I'm guessing saying
hole.
hole.
Yeah.
Won't be too much to fix, just needs a bit of fiberglass and some time and she'll be away. Trailer in last photos is what it'll come on. Just bought a brand new tyre for the trailer, has no lights or plate. Phone me your offer.
Phone me your offer. That's fucking optimistic if ever I heard it.
The
Um,
boat literally comes with fucking nothing.
I think when you're talking about like one of the features being a new tire on the on the not road legal trailer, I think you've really scraped the barrel. So that is, I mean, we've had some absolute dogs, but that is definitely up there. So
Part
thank
of
you
me
so
would love
much.
to buy that and put like a 4 horsepower, outboard on it so it just doesn't move
Well,
and say, Jake,
ring him up, mate. Ring him up.
he wants $300 for that, bro.
Yeah, he is absolutely dreaming. I would not be seen dead on it. I would rather chop the fiberglass up and use it to build a road.
Jesus.
So that's his contribution. He's at brew underscore dude on Instagram. Just looking there. So yep, I have got that right. I don't want to call out the right guy. So thank you so much for sending that in. You've
Epic.
sent a couple to the party here too, bro.
Yeah, I thought you might like a couple. So the one in particular, the one I want to talk about, is
Oh,
the
is this
one
the
that's
fair
this.
line?
Is it sick? Yeah, the feline. The feline.
Okay, so we promised that there would be another uh, pilot house straight up and down windscreen featuring on this podcast,
Yep.
and oh my God, have they leaned into this one here? So
Leaned into
it
it. I
is
thought
a
it was funny.
Fairline 600 aluminium hardtop. They want 45,000. I'm assuming New Zealand dollars. I wouldn't give you 45,000 Vietnamese dong for that.
I wouldn't give any
And
dong for that.
so here's the really interesting thing with Dog of the Month, right? Like, it is in some ways quite easy to just jump on Trade Me, jump on Facebook Market, and find some absolute lemon that someone's left on a lawn, much like your father-in-law's boat, actually, on
Oh,
a and to rinse them for it. I think the real gold is when a boat manufacturer, so clearly someone's designed this and built it, and then has made a new boat that he wants to sell to customers, and that's the end result. I think there's a real level of like I don't even know what the word is. I'm just looking at it now. Think
I
about
think.
that.
Yeah.
You know that if someone took, you go to an airport and there's the control tower where people
Oh,
where
it's so
where
big.
the people sit to like look at the plane. They radio in and be clear for takeoff sort of thing.
So
If someone had plonked one of those onto a pretty basic ugly aluminium hull,
yeah, just like a sea
that's
boss,
that's
six
the
meter,
end
7 meter.
that's the
Yep.
end result here. That
I
is
describe it as
fucking
your mate
awful.
from high school that's got a really big forehead. Yep.
Oh, if you want to see this at Unable Seaman on Instagram, or we will flash this up on the page if you're watching along. If you're driving, keep your eyes on the road because you will absolutely drive into a ditch if you catch a glimpse of this thing. It is awful. What were they thinking?
I have no idea,
That
bro. I don't know.
that's what
No, she's not a goodie. She's not a
we
goodie.
this is an idea for our upcoming podcast, bit of a behind the scenes. We need to go through all our dogs in the month, particularly these manufactured ones, and get these people on and just go, what the fuck were you thinking?
I don't know. We might have a few less people to talk to if we keep doing that. Hey, anyway, bro, I better rock and roll. It's bloody getting
Yeah,
a bit
no,
late, man.
it's been a great podcast. We've just flowed through all sorts of topics. Hopefully, it's been as entertaining to listen to as it has been to make.
One
Uh, once
formative.
once again, thank you to all the people who have reached out at us. It really, really means a lot when you comment on our videos, you like them, you reach out to us on our Instagram page there. Hopefully, this video is a little bit more entertaining to watch with the actual boats we're talking about put in. Hopefully, I can do that after talking a big game. But until next time, thank you, bro. I'm hoping your next, hoping next time we can start the boating podcast with something a little bit more exciting than you found finding a dinghy.
No, I'm keen to take it out. I'm gonna take you out in it. It's gonna be
Yeah,
awesome.
grab a camera, send me the footage, and keep an eye out for that on at Unable Seaman or on Coast Watch.
Coast Guard, yeah. Okay. Sweet. See you.
Anyway, everybody, see you next month.